You're impressive on paper, Naya, but we're looking for someone less urban. Silence. The sentence hits her like a slap. Naya's spine stays straight, but her grip tightens on the edge of the chair. She blinks once, then again. Did she hear that right? The HR woman just smiles like she complimented her. Her French manicure gleams under the conference lights as she taps Nia's resume like it's disposable. Someone who, blends better with our clients. Corporate-facing environments. Nia's tongue feels thick in her mouth. She's rehearsed answers for every interview question. Not this, I see, she manages. Voice steady but cold. Don't get me wrong, you're clearly smart. The woman adds, flipping to the last page. But strong cultural presentations can be... distracting. Cultural presentation, she means my hair. She means my skin. She means me. The HR woman stands, reaching for the handshake she never offered when Nia walked in. We appreciate you coming in. Best of luck. Nia doesn't stand right away. Something about her body won't move yet. There's a pressure behind her eyes, but she wills the tears not to fall. Not here. Not for them. When she does rise, it's slow, controlled. Maybe try a more polished look next time. The HR woman's voice follows her like a mosquito, sweet and sharp, coated in condescension. Nia forces a smile small and sharp like a blade. Thank you for your time, she says, her voice flat. She walks to the door without rushing, dignity intact. On the surface, inside, it's chaos, rage choking under restraint. Her chest is tight. Her breath was shallow. Her hand grazes the doorknob. Then she hears it. Quiet, but just loud enough. A muttered laugh. Issa Rae wannabe. The words crawl into her ear like poison. Nia doesn't turn around, but she knows. Two receptionists, whispering, the one with the fake Chanel bag and loud eyelashes. She recognizes the voice. Came in all natural and serious like, that's gonna land her a job here. Their giggles crack through the silence behind her, like a slap to the back of the neck. She keeps walking. Out the glass doors, through the pristine lobby, out of the place she once dreamed of working. No tears, just heat. She hits the street hand, finally breathes. Sunlight hits her face, but it doesn't feel warm. She stands outside, numb the city. Moves around Herker's chatter, someone laughing across the street, but she's somewhere else entirely. Her hand tightens around the strap of her bag. Harvard. She remembered the nights she slept with textbooks as pillows. The rejection emails she never let break her. Her grandmother's voice in her head, saying, "Don't just survive, baby. Build something they can't tear down." She did everything right, and still it wasn't enough. Not because of her resume, but because of who she is. Because of her skin. Because of her hair. Because she dared to exist, unapologetically, in a space that only wanted pieces of her. They want her intellect, but only if it comes in a different body. Her feet are moving now. She's not sure where. Maybe nowhere. Maybe everywhere. Traffic blurs around her. Honks, echo. People shout, but inside her, silence. And then beneath the silence, something flickers. Not sadness. Not defeat. Fire. Something is burning. Not out of control. Not rage for rage's sake, but controlled combustion. Something focused, ready. This wasn't a failure. This was clarity. Nia keeps walking, a whisper rising in her chest like armor. You didn't break me. You revealed it to me. She looks up at the city skyline and, for the first time that day, she smiles. It's not over. not even close. The coffee's cold. Again, Nia blinks hard, rubbing her temples as the laptop screen blurs. Another 3 a.m. submission. Her 4th this week. Her 17th this month. She drags the cursor, hits send, then exhales. Behind her, the cracked mirror reflects sticky notes. You're almost there. Make them remember your name. Torn eviction notice peeks from under a textbook. She ignores it. Click, type, backspace, type again. Her phone buzzes. Notification from a job portal. Application viewed. No interview. Just viewed. Success isn't a dream, she mutters to herself, jaw clenched. It's a necessity. In the quiet, she stares at the Harvard crest printed on her diploma. They told her she'd made it. She hasn't, not yet. They'll try. To shrink you, baby. Stand tall anyway. Her grandmother's voice lives in her bones. NIA remembers the kitchen, the warmth, the chipped counter, the smell of collard greens. Her grandma's hand stirring the pot, frail but fierce. You hear. Me, she'd said, breath shaky but eyes blazing. Don't dim your light just 'cause they don't like how bright it burns. Yes, ma'am, young Nia had whispered, holding back tears. Let M choke on your shine. That woman raised her with backbone, not just love. No college, no savings, but wisdom sharper than any degree. Her last words were never about fear. They were a command. Don't just survive. Build something they can't tear down. Nia's been building ever since. Inbox, rejection, again. Thank you for your application. We've moved forward with another candidate. Nia doesn't flinch. She just clicks the next one, same words, different companies. Her resume glows Harvard, internships, fluent in 3 languages, volunteer work, leadership roles, MBA coursework. Still, the door stays shut. She refreshes her LinkedIn. Sees her white classmate posting about another promotion. So proud to join the team at click, scroll, block. No one says it directly. No one has to. They want her intelligence. Just not wrapped in her skin, to urban. That's what they said. After 32 versions of not a culture fit, someone finally said the quiet part out loud. To urban not NIA stared at the screen. Didn't blink, didn't curse. Just nodded to herself. Quiet still. It was never the resume. It was never the GPA. It was never the way she answered questions. It was her reflection. And now she's done shrinking for rooms that were never meant to hold her high. Are you catering? Nia freezes mid-step. She blinks slowly. Her voice doesn't come right away. No, I'm here for the info session. The HR woman's eyes flicker surprised, almost disappointed. Her smile twitches back on like a faulty light switch. Oh, of course. My mistake. Then she turns to greet the next candidate. A blonde woman in heels. Hey girl, love that. Blazer, come on in. Laughter, warmth, belonging. Nia walks past her, gripping her tote tighter. Eyes trail her. A few people glance up, down, then back to their phones. She sits in the second row. No one joins her. She straightens her back, smooths the front of her. Blazer checks her breath. You belong here. You belong here. Are you a staff? A guy whispers as he passes, pointing at her name badge. She doesn't respond, just stares ahead. This wasn't her first time being mistaken for help, but it still cuts, one by one. They line up to greet the HR woman. Thanks for coming. Love your resume. Great question back there. She shakes every hand, laughs, offers LinkedIn tips. Then Nia steps forward. The HR woman glances up. Briefly nods, slides a clipboard across the table. Just sign in. No smile. No handshake. No warmth. Nia's fingers tremble slightly as she writes her name. She watches the interaction behind her. Guy in khakis gets a fist bump and a joke about golf. You don't belong here. Something whispers inside her. Not said, not written, but clearly communicated. She breathes deep, signs her name, walks to her seat. Alone. Q&A session. Nia raises her hand, steady, clear. What efforts does the company have in place to support employees of color? The room shifts. A subtle tension. The HR woman smiles, but it's brittle now. Oh, sweetie, we don't see color here. We hire the best person for the job. Laughter. A few soft claps. Nia doesn't move. Don't smile. So, No affinity groups. No mentorship programs. She asks quietly. Everyone gets equal treatment, the HR woman says. That's what true diversity is. More claps. Nia looks around. No one meets her eyes. Her chest feels tight. Not from anger, from recognition. They don't see color, because they don't want to. The train rocks as Nia stares out the window. Back home, she sits in silence. Her laptop glows beside her, untouched. She replays the day, the handshake that never came, the clipboard, the fake smile. Was I too direct? Too bold? She stares at her reflection, the twist-out curls, the gold hoops, the skin they keep side-eyeing. Maybe I should have straightened my hair, worn neutral tones, smile more. The inner voice that used to roar now whispers, what if they're right? She closes the laptop, not out of peace, but exhaustion. Some of our clients don't respond well to strong cultural statements. That was the first sentence after Nia finished her pitch. No feedback, no follow-up, just that. Nia blinked, confused. I'm sorry. Cultural statements. The HR woman smiled, tilting her head like she was being helpful. Your look, the tone, you have a lot of presence. Presence. The HR woman glanced at Nia's natural curls, then back to her eyes. We're a corporate-facing brand. We need someone who blends in, not stands out. Stand out how? Like me. Like this skin, this voice. These years I fought to get here. Nia's heartbeat thudded louder than the fluorescent hum in the ceiling. But her voice came out even. I understand. She didn't. Not really. What she did understand was how her resume had opened the door, but her reflection was slamming it shut again. You're very impressive, the HR woman added quickly. On paper, that part stung more than she expected. Nia nodded. Right. She straightened the folder in her lap, eyes stinging but dry. Her mouth didn't tremble, but her hands balled up. This isn't personal, the HR woman said, as if reading her silence. Nia forced a smile. It never is. The door creaked open mid-sentence. The HR woman turned, surprised. Oh hey Mark. A man in a navy blazer strolled in, coffee in one hand, phone in the other. He barely looked at Nia before chuckling. Didn't realize we were still doing diversity hires. The words dropped like a hammer. Nia didn't move. Her face didn't change. But inside, something cracked. The HR woman laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a real one. You're terrible, she said, shaking her head. Kidding, Mark said, sort of. His eyes finally met Nia's. They didn't say welcome. They said, what are you doing in our house? The air turned thick. Too heavy, too... Breathe. Nia clenched her jaw. Don't react. Don't give them what they want. But her silence wasn't a weakness. It was a calculation. Mark leaned against the doorframe, sipping his coffee. Anyway, carry on. He left, like he'd just dropped off dry cleaning. Nia turned back to the HR woman. Her smile was gone now. Just a clipboard. Just waiting. Nia stood slowly. Her chair didn't scrape. Her voice didn't shake. She looked them both in the eyes. First the HR woman, then the door where Mark had disappeared. You don't want me. You want what I know inside, someone who looks like you. The HR woman opened her mouth to protest, but Nia raised a finger. Calm, final. Save it. You're smart, Nia continued, but not smart enough to see what you just lost. She gathered her things with quiet precision. No rush, no apology. Keep your job, she said, voice clear and ringing. I'm building something bigger. The HR woman blinked, stunned, silence. Is that a threat? She finally asked, trying to laugh. It's a promise. Nia walked out. Didn't slam the door. Didn't look back. Didn't have to. She knew that room would never be the same again. The hallway was colder than before. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting everything in a weird artificial glow. Nia walked straight ahead. Didn't glance at the receptionist. Didn't pause, but the whispers started anyway. She just walked out. Didn't say goodbye. She kept walking. Her heels echoed off the tile. A small, angry rhythm. She hit the exit door with her shoulder and burst into the daylight. And finally she let herself breathe. It wasn't the kind of anger that made you scream. It was the kind that sits low in your chest, patient and precise. They laughed in my face. They tried to shrink me again, and I didn't flinch. She stood there, facing the sky, letting it all hit her. The rejection, the disrespect, the humiliation, the routine of it. But this time, she wasn't going to swallow it. This time, the fire stayed lit, and it wanted more. I wasn't unqualified. I was too black. That's how Nia opens the video. Calm, crisp, no theatrics. She's sitting on her couch. Natural hair framing her face like a crown they tried to burn off. I graduated top of my class, Harvard, honors, led to national case competitions. I walked into that interview prepared to give them everything. She blinks slowly. Her voice is steady, but her hands are clenched out of frame. And instead, I was told I didn't blend in, that my presence was too much, that my hair was a statement. Nia's lips pressed together before she continues. They didn't want qualifications. They wanted the illusion of diversity without the discomfort of actual difference. There's no music, no jump cuts, just her. So I'm saying this not for sympathy, but for truth. She leans in slightly, eyes locked with the lens. Racial injustice in hiring isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a smile, a compliment, a comment like, maybe try a more polished look next time. A beat of silence, then the closing line slow, deliberate. I'm done shrinking to make others comfortable. The video ends with her staring dead into the camera, no tears. Just the truth. The comments flood in. This happened to me at Redacted Agency. I literally got asked if I was an intern. Too ethnic for client-facing roles. That exact phrase was used on me. Within an hour, the video hits 100K views. By morning over 1 million. Stitches show people crying. Duets feature creators reading her words aloud, fists clenched. 1. HR rep anonymously. D. Ms. Her. I worked there. I saw what they did. You're not imagining it. Another. I was told to filter resumes with urban-sounding names. I quit the next day. Naya scrolls through them, stunned. It wasn't just me. It was never just me. For the first time in days, she lets herself cry, but not out of pain, out of release. This pain had a name, a pattern, a community. She wasn't alone anymore, and neither were the thousands who were silent for too long. Ping.a tag, notification.at issarae.nia, single quotes as breath stops, the caption, they picked the wrong one to play with. At Neo James, let's talk, 6 words. That's all it took to shake the internet. Within minutes, articles pop up. Issa Rae responds to viral racial injustice. TikTok Harvard grad speaks out about hiring discrimination. Issa Rae backs her. Then comes the DM, Zoom tonight. No pressure, I've been there. Nia joins the call. Her voice is shaky at first. Issa listens. Don't interrupt. Just nod. I know what it feels like to be underestimated. And I know what happens when you stop asking for permission. They talk about systems, about power, about what could come next. Nothing is promised, but something's shifting. For the first time, Naya feels less like a victim and more like a spark. And the world watching Naya disappears from the feed. No more posts, no interviews, just silence. But behind that silence movement, Issa connects her with people. Lawyers, creators, investors. They talk about strategy, ownership, vision. Naya isn't chasing offers anymore, she's designing blueprints. You won that interview, Issa tells her. Now win the game. Nia writes late into the night, drawing up pitch decks, scribbling ideas on napkins. Her grandmother's voice stays with her. Build something they can't tear down. She's not performing anymore. She's preparing, and the same woman they laughed out the door. Now she's writing a policy. She's not the only one anymore, and she's definitely not quiet. Let's begin. The boardroom door clicks shut. HR walks in, clutching a coffee and that same clipboard smug. Unreadable. But then she stops. Her eyes lock onto the monitor at the front of the room. Issa Rae. Live. Professional.com. Good morning. Effective immediately. This company has been acquired. Double quotes silence. One man coughs. Another shift in his chair. The HR woman opens her mouth, but Issa keeps talking. We've reviewed the culture. We've seen the viral video. We've spoken to the staff you tried to silence. This isn't a rebrand. This is a reckoning. HR blinks fast, her smile faltering. We pride ourselves on inclusion, she blurts out, grasping for the usual script. Issa doesn't flinch. Inclusion doesn't begin with a press release. It begins with accountability, and that's what today is about. HR turns pale. We were just following protocol. Then your protocol is broken. The screen flickers. Please rise, Issa says, to welcome your new CEO. Click, click, click. Heels on marble. Every head turns as the glass door swings open. Nia walks in. Same walk, same stare, same hair. Only now no one dares question it. Her curls are bigger than ever. Her posture taller. Her silence louder than every board member in the room. The HR woman stammers, but she's brilliant, Issa finishes, voice slicing through the tension. Qualified, Harvard educated, and finally, in charge. Naya doesn't smile. She doesn't have to. Her presence says it all. I don't need your approval. I took your chair. Someone starts to clap. Others follow half-hearted. Confused. Nia turns her head slowly. You don't have to perform, she says. Evenly. Just listen. Aicha's mouth opens again. We didn't know you did, Nia says. You just didn't care. She takes her seat at the head of the table. And this time, no one stops her. I want to say one thing, Nia begins. Rising, she looks around the room. Same cold glass. Same white walls. Same people who looked through her like a ghost. Only now, they look haunted. I remember standing outside this building, after you told me I wasn't the right fit. Her voice is even, but it cuts like glass. You told me to be less urban, to tone it down, to disappear. Pause. You tried to erase me. She steps forward, gaze unwavering. Now my face is on the building. Silence, sharp and holy. Not a single blink. Not a single breath. In that moment, every microaggression, every rejection, every whispered insult, it collapses beneath her heels. Nia nods once. Let's get to work. Ever been told you weren't the right fit? But deep down, you knew what they really meant. Drop your story. Let's break this silence together. Not a culture fit. A little too bold. Maybe tone it down. Heard any of those? Share it in the comments, because someone out there needs to know they're not alone. If it's happened to you or someone you love, now's the time to speak. Comment on your story. We're not invisible anymore.